Hey yogis, Sandy Cavalier here. Today we're going to talk about chest breathing and ocean breathing. I'm going to ask you to sit up tall. I have 2 blocks and I'm covering it with a blanket so it'll be comfortable and also gives me a little added height. So sitting on something so that your hips are higher than your knees. This will give you some ease in sitting up. Sitting on a chair is fine. So if that works better for you, sit on a chair. So chest breathing is exactly what it says. It is breathing into the chest. As we breathe all day long throughout our activities, we're usually on automatic. We're not really thinking about how we're breathing. And the lungs fill up, the belly comes out. And on the exhale, the belly kind of drops in and the chest deflates. So chest breathing in yoga is different from that. It's very intentional, it's very active. And literally, we're going to breathe so that our ribs move. The lungs are in your chest, so we're going to keep the activity in the chest, holding a little abdominal action to move the ribs out sideways on the inhale. And on the exhale, you'll feel the ribs move back in. So let's try it a few times. Place your hands like this on your side ribs. Try not to tense up your shoulders. I'm going to ask you to do this with your mouth open so that you can hear your breath. You'll make a loud sound as you breathe. So let's just try it. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. The ribs move out sideways. Your hands will move sideways. Pause at the top and then exhale it out. Feel the ribs move closer together. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, the ribs move out. Pause. As you exhale, the ribs close. Let's do one more. Inhale, ribs move sideways. And as you exhale, they close. So breathing into your hands, actually feeling the movement, is a good guide and a good way to train yourself to feel the chest expanding sideways and then closing. So why do chest breathing? Well, it exercises your chest and your ribs. How often do you really move your ribs in and out? You're moving the intercostal muscles, the muscles between the ribs. You're developing some core strength, which is terrific for your spine. It gives you greater posture, stronger posture, healthier posture. It'll release and relieve your low back, so you'll have more support there as well. The lung capacity is another feature, another advantage, a benefit of this kind of breathing. You'll increase the lung capacity. You'll clean out the lungs. You'll allow a big inhale and a complete exhale. We generally, throughout our day, use very little of our lungs. It's a small inhale and a small exhale. So this is going to get you to increase lung capacity, develop some core strength, move your ribs, and stretch your intercostal muscles. Let's do it again. Before we do it one more time, I just want to emphasize the actions of the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a big muscle that's in the chest cavity, and it attaches to the ribs and the spine. And when the diaphragm draws down, the air comes into the lungs, and if you're not focusing on chest breathing, your chest will stay pretty small, but the belly will poof out. So with chest breathing, the diaphragm pulls down, but the expansion of the lungs takes place in the chest. The chest becomes broad and moves sideways. And on the exhale, the diaphragm lifts up towards your heart, pressing all the air out. So as that action happens going up, you can think about and activate your abdominals and have them move in and up towards your heart as well. Part of the abdominals, the lowest part of the abdominal actions would be the pelvic floor. And as you exhale and everything moves in and up, so too can the the diaphragm of the pelvic floor. So I'm going to cue you some of those actions and see if you can tap into the low belly moving in and up following the natural action of the diaphragm, and maybe even starting to feel that you could bring the pelvic floor up as well. So let's go ahead and put the hands back on the sides just so you can feel your arms, your hands move. Go ahead now, sit up tall, take a big breath in. Exhale it out, stay tall. Feel the navel go in and up towards your heart, maybe even the pelvic floor too. Empty out a little bit more. Go ahead and get that action of lifting up. Keep some abdominal activity. Breathe into the chest. Exhale. In and up. Breathe in sideways. Pause. Exhale. The diaphragm moves up, and so too can the navel and the pelvic floor. Pause on empty. See if you can lift a little more. Inhale. Pause. Get tall. Exhale. Breathe in. Strong exhale. Navel goes in and up. Pelvic floor travels along. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Big breath in. And release. So that's chest breathing and how the core can work along with the chest breathing to stabilize the spine, to strengthen the core, and to stabilize your practice. It's better for your posture, this type of breathing. You don't have to do it all day long, but certainly occasionally tap into it and see what it does for your posture and for your overall well-being, how you feel. Now I want to talk about the ocean sound. I think you heard it when I was breathing, and it's a small constriction at the back of the throat. Notice my mouth was open wide. And the bottom of the throat, the base of the throat, is also very broad with a small constriction right here. So the jaw drops. And you could move your tongue at the base of the throat down and up like a frog pulsating. Feel that? So now drop the jaw. Drop the tongue into the base of the throat. And keep enough space. Here's a visual. If you imagine an egg, a hard-boiled egg without the shell, sitting at the back of your throat, that's about how much space you want inside the mouth. So what we're going to do is breathe out as though you're fogging a mirror. So you're going to make a sound. Take a breath in, chest breathing, and then put your hand in front of your mouth and see the heat from your exhale. You didn't see it, but you felt it. Take a breath in. Fog. Breathe in. As though you're fogging. See if you can make the same sound on the inhale. Same sound, inhale. Same sound, exhale. Good. Rest. So breathing like that with the mouth open helps your awareness of the broadness in the back of the throat, that you are using a small constriction here, as though you're breathing in and out of the sides of your throat, like you've grown gills. The small constriction will make an ocean-like sound. It's easy to do on the exhale. First of all, we do fog our glasses to clean them. So we have done a before. Slowing down the breath on the inhale is a little harder. We're not used to that. Our inhales are usually very short. In fact, they become quick gulps. We are used to long exhales because when we talk, we go on and on and on with a very long, slow exhale, distributing the air out very slowly. But then we're out of air and we go, so we can do the same thing all over again. So it's not just talking, it's also singing or playing a wind instrument. All of these things have helped us to understand long, slow exhales. The inhale is a little trickier. It'll take a little more practice. So the ocean sound is part of chest breathing. Chest breathing, we expand the chest, and then we bring the ribs closer together. That's the chest part. The ocean sound is in the throat. Why do this restricted style of breathing? Well, because it makes an ocean sound. And that sound becomes a meditative loop throughout your practice. It calms the mind. It warms the body because you're working harder to breathe. It is a bit of a restriction on the breath. The same way if you had a hose and you turned the water on full blast, it would just come out the hose. But if you put your thumb over the nozzle and you restrict a little bit of the ability of the flow, it would be the same idea as constricting the throat. So you're letting the air go out or the water go out in a smaller stream. It's restricted. So you'll be working your body a little bit harder with the resistance breathing, but it's also very calming and very meditative. If you have the hang of keeping the throat broad, you can start then to breathe this way with your lips touching. So you don't use your lips to breathe at all. There's no candle blowing with the pursed lips. So you wouldn't want to breathe like this. Unless it's your birthday. The lips touching lightly with the mouth broad on the inside is a nice way to breathe once you understand the broadness on the inside of the mouth. So you'll still make an audible sound and you'll still have resistance breathing. Let's try that. Bring your hands to your ribs. Breathing in, you're going to move the ribs out. Breathing out, the ribs move in. As you do breathe out, the abdominal muscles can move in and up towards your heart, creating the bandhas, Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, the energy locks in a yoga practice. So you'll be strengthening your core. This is all natural. You're following the way that the diaphragm moves naturally. And then just closing the mouth, make the sound. Go ahead and let's try that. Breathing in. Pause. Strong exhale. Breathe in. And out. Good. We will try this standing in a minute with some arm movements, but if you forget to keep the mouth broad, then go ahead and open the mouth, do mouth breathing. I do want to caution you that when your lips are closed, you're breathing in and out through your nose, but the base of the nose, the back of the nose, the nostrils are wide. So it's not like this. That's yoga sniffing. It's like this. So there's no noise coming from the nose at all. Let's stand up. And we will come to horse stance and practice this breathing a little more actively. So take your feet wide, wider than your hips, wider than your shoulders. Turn your feet straight ahead and bend your knees about 6 or 8 inches. Bring your hands to heart center. Empty all the air out. As you inhale, take your arms wide. Pause, palms up, shoulders down. Exhale. That's it. It's very simple. Inhale to the chest. And exhale. Good. Breathe in. And out. Breathe sideways into the chest. Pause. Make sure your arms aren't way back here because your shoulders will move up. Exhale. Inhale. Hear the continuous loop of ocean breath. Chest breathing with an ocean sound. And we'll continue with this using a little more core and doing it with our practice next time.